So, we were talking about school funding.
Yes.
And just kind of different approaches to it. Why some want to cut the school funding and they go, look, you can go get an education, you just have to pay for it. Others say, you can go get an education, we want to make sure you can get into the class, whether or not you can pay for it, right? It's just kind of a difference of approach. I will say this. You and I have been critical of the ESA program. I'm critical especially because of the way it's been rolled out. You made mention before we went to break that you support sort of the concept that anybody should be able to go to schools, right? The ESAs say, the Empowerment Scholarship Accounts, if you're unfamiliar, they say that if your kid is going to school, that school gets $8,000 a year for your child. And so, if that's the case, if your child wants to go to private school, shouldn't the private school get the $8,000 that would have otherwise gone to the public school? Public school isn't teaching your kid. The private school is. Shouldn't the private school get the tax dollars?
Yeah, I like it in practice, but what it's actually doing is shutting down a number of Arizona public schools.
Yes.
And making it tougher and tougher for them to fund education for the kids who aren't going to the private and homeschooling route.
It's because the cost of operating those larger schools is significantly more. It just is. And the private schools can also, they can raise funds through tuition beyond what the ESAs are covering.
They can also jack up the cost of their education because they know that individuals have another $7,000 to $8,000, or if they are if they're raising a special needs child, $40,000.
Yeah, if your special needs $40,000, and if you don't spend it all, it kind of stays in your ESA account. In the same way that if you don't spend your HSA, it stays in there and it rolls over to next year, right? Okay, so it's not like that money goes away. But then what happens when your kid graduates 12th grade and you've still got $200,000 in that account?
You can use that money to send them to college here in Arizona or to a private institution elsewhere throughout the country.
And then what if I don't send my kid anywhere else? It's just going to sit there in perpetuity?
Just sits there and rots.
So the story from 12 News, Craig Harris had the story, and he was talking about this woman who teaches home ec in Globe, at Globe High School. And things are so rough there that she's actually had to try to raise money through the local Chamber of Commerce and through fundraising in order to update some of the stoves that they had. Stoves from the 60s, and only one burner worked. And in her words, they were sketchy.
Yeah, but even after they do all this fundraising and they come up with this money and they get this quote-unquote new stuff, she's still got sinks that don't work. She's still got holes in her countertops and 60-plus-year-old cabinets.
So she's got to go, find a contractor to come in there and take care of things?
So
raise that money?
I think you and I can agree that that's not the baseline for education that we want here.
That's subpar.
My school didn't even have home ec, but if it did, I don't want a sink that doesn't work. That's just disgusting.
So the Channel 12 News I-Team, 12 News, I-Team, investigative.
Very bassy.
I-Team has uncovered through a public records request that Arizona taxpayers picked up a $38,248 tab for more than 200 KitchenAid products, including 66 premium mixers that cost $300 to $850 a piece through education state vouchers. $300 to $850 a piece.
Okay. Yeah.
So then 12 News, I-Team.
They found somebody who got some of that equipment.
Well, they asked the home ec teacher, what do you think about this? Her response was, wow, that's amazing.
But it, of course,
Very
ticked her
upsetting.
off. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. So how come we're not trying to make this better? Why are we trying to go after
this? See, you say make this better. Now, there are some out there who were able to go out and get their $850 fancy blender.
Yeah.
Who say this is exactly the way it should be.
Wait, how so?
Well, 12 News tracked down one of the ESA parents.
Okay.
And she even said, we bought a KitchenAid stand mixer and attachments, which some people would consider a luxury. But she is a chef by trade. She lives near Show Low.
Huh.
And she says that those tools that her special needs son uses, that they have transformed him. And she says if you buy a cheap tool, you're going to get a terrible outcome, Chris.
Okay, pause. All right, so we've got a chef by trade in Show Low.
Yeah.
All right, obviously working at one of the premier Show Low bars and restaurants.
I don't know.
Okay. And she's a chef by trade, but doesn't have the equipment she says is necessary to give you the best results. But fortunately now, through the ESA program, her child with disabilities can purchase the thing that she, as a chef by trade, was unable to. So we're buying professional equipment that even professionals can't afford.
So she
that's
says.
What, as a taxpayer, that's what I'm doing.
Yeah. And that is one of the reasons I have a huge problem with the ESA system. Again, in theory, I love school choice.
Yeah.
But when you see it play out and you've got a chef that you're pointing out.
Yeah. By trade.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Sholo.
Somehow this chef could not get their KitchenAid stand mixer with the attachments that her special needs son needed.
Okay. I want to find out, is she using the stand mixer for her chef by trade job? Because I want to say that stand mixer is not for you, Mom. That stand mixer is only for your kid. You are not allowed to use that.
And only when he's in school, too.
Because what's happening is my tax dollars are funding her trade, something that she's not making enough money on. How's that different than subsidizing someone else's paycheck or their business?
Well, it's the same thing as the dune buggies.
That's fraud.
And was it Rolex watches?
Except she's making money off of my money. So she's using my taxpayer dollars to supplement her business. That's fraud. And she's saying it's because of her disabled kid. Think about this. Suppose I opened a voiceover business, of course, and I would not have any clients. And the reason I wouldn't have any clients, Joe, is because I don't have the best microphone. I was microphone shopping before the show today. Found a nice one. $3,500.
Wow.
For a microphone. Yeah. Imagine if I had a special needs child who had a media arts curriculum in my homeschooling program.
You got an extra $40K a year then.
I could go and buy my kid a $3,500 microphone for voiceovers.
Well, I mean, if you buy a cheap tool for your kid, they're going to get a terrible outcome.
I mean, how would they ever get by? I mean, for Pete's sake, the microphones we have in our studio are only about $350 a piece. I don't even know how we do a radio show. Maybe what we need are more taxpayer dollars to upgrade our studios. I mean, for the educational purposes of children, of course.
Thanks for watching The Chris and Joe Show. Click to see more from Chris and Joe and tap the button in the middle to subscribe to KTAR News.